mRNA technology for vaccination. Now, what is the context of this news? Recently, WHO announced that 6 African countries will be given revolutionary mRNA technology to set up own vaccine production unit in Africa, right? So, with this context, the WHO is trying to make Africa self-reliant in vaccine production so that they can deal with the pandemic more efficiently. And even it has another point that the mRNA technology not only caters to the COVID vaccine, but it has a huge potential to create vaccine for other infectious diseases, and Africa has most burden of infectious disease. So if these countries can utilize this mRNA technology for development of vaccines for other diseases as well, it will be helpful for the continent. So in this context, we will try to understand the mRNA technology, how it works and how it is different from the traditional vaccines, right? So though it sounds very recent for us when we heard the news about vaccines being created using a new technology, mRNA, we thought it is a new technology, but research has been going on in decoding the usage of mRNA since a long period of time. But when the pandemic happened and the information about the COVID genome came in public, then scientists just used the opportunity and utilized the years of experience in researching on mRNA and created mRNA vaccine for COVID vaccine, which is very effective, and they have achieved that in a very short period of time, right? So it clearly shows that the research has been going on for long. Now the interest in mRNA technology is more because it can be created in a laboratory setup and with readily available materials, and even the production of this vaccine can be scaled up very quickly. So in dealing with the situation of a pandemic, we need technologies which can be created at a large scale in short period of time. So in that sense also mRNA technology was very useful. So earlier mRNA vaccines has been tried for, or the research has been going on for Zika, flu, rabies, and cytomegalovirus. So already research had been going on to create vaccine for these diseases, but the final output came in the form of vaccine for COVID, be it Pfizer or Moderna. They have used mRNA technology to create COVID vaccine, and it was very effective as well. So future of mRNA vaccine, it is not confined only to COVID vaccination. Even other diseases like HIV, malaria, or any infectious disease can be vaccines can be created using mRNA technology in future as well, like HIV, malaria. So it has a huge scope. So this technology can be seen as a watershed moment in the vaccine development, right? Because it has the ability to create vaccines using laboratory materials, and it does not uses live vectors. I mean, the bacteria or viruses in their active or inactive form. It does not uses those microorganisms and put it in the patient's body. So it is, in that sense, it is safe as well, right? So before seeing the advantages of mRNA technology, let us quickly see how the vaccine or traditional vaccines work. So we all know, right, what is a vaccine? It is created to generate an immune response. Basically, how our immune system works, see, when any foreign invasion, suppose a virus or a bacteria enters our body, our immune response triggers and response. It identifies it as a threat, and in response it creates antibodies. Antibodies, and that antibodies fights with the virus or bacteria and protects our body. So this is the basic concept how our immune system work. But when a new virus or bacteria comes, our body is not very familiar with the new attack. It becomes difficult for them to create antibody at such a speed to counter the multiplication of virus in the body, right? So for that we need prior information that this is a threat. So how we create that prior information is through vaccines. In traditional vaccine, what we do, we use the traces of virus, live virus or bacteria in active form or inactive form, and we put it in the body, and then body comes to know about that new invader, and once the antibody is created, then the antibody stays in the body for future infections, right? If we take an example, say this can be active virus or inactive virus, can be put in the body through vaccines so that the body understand prior to the actual infection, right? If body understand prior to actual infection, it will create antibody beforehand, and it will be easy for the body to fight a new infection, right? So example for active virus vaccine will be Covishield, inactive Covaxin. So what in inactive state, what they do, they inactivate or deactivate the actual virus, and then it is put in the body in form of vaccine, and the body understand it and produces antibody. Similarly, in Covishield, what it does, it uses a vector adenovirus, and the DNA of COVID virus is transmitted through adenovirus in the body, and then body generates antibodies for it. So here adenovirus is live, though it is a light virus, it causes a flu-like symptom for 1 or 2 days. It is totally safe to use adenovirus, but it still uses live virus to send it inside the body, right? So this is a disadvantage of traditional vaccines. This disadvantage is solved by the mRNA technology, where we do not use live or inactivated virus or bacteria directly in the body. So how mRNA technique works? mRNA in a particular cell, it works as a blueprint. if you read about protein synthesis in cell, you will come to know about mRNA. It is used as blueprint to produce protein, right? Now how it works, like see, suppose this is an mRNA, it has different codes, right? Each and every code is for a particular type of protein. So knowing this information, what scientists did, they wanted to identify a unique protein in existing coronavirus. So if you know the structure of coronavirus, it somehow looks like this. These are the spike proteins, right? These are the spike proteins, and these are the first line of interaction with ACE2 receptor in our body. What happens? The ACE2 receptors joins with these spike proteins, and through this joint the nucleus or the genetic information passes through this joint in our cells, right? So this is how the infection happens. So what scientists did, they identified the outer protein on the membrane of the virus, and they find out that this is a unique pattern of protein. So they analyzed the mRNA of COVID virus and found out which code or which segment provides blueprint for producing spike protein. Now they have used this segment in the vaccine, and through this vaccine what we are doing, we are putting this particular segment of mRNA, which is a blueprint to create spike protein. So when someone is injected with this vaccine, and when the particular segment of this mRNA reaches the body, it creates similar spike protein, but it does not have the nucleus in it, right? So in our body, this only spike protein is created through this vaccine, but the immune system, it understand or sees it as a threat. For them, whether it is a virus or a protein, if it is a outside material, it is a threat to the body. So that immune system understand, and it creates antibodies depending upon this spike protein. And when the actual infection happens, we have already the antibodies generated for the spike protein. So the initial transition or the interaction with ACE2 protein does not happen, because the antibody kills that virus when actual infestation has happened, right? So this is how mRNA technology or the mRNA vaccines work, right? Without putting in the original virus or bacteria into the body. So like all other vaccines, even mRNA vaccines have some risks attached to it. What are the risks? One important risk is that it induces potent interferon type 1 response. Generally it is associated with inflammation and even autoimmune response. So it is important to identify the recipient whether they are autoimmune compromised. So in that case we have to be cautious for the side effects of using mRNA. And the risk of mRNA strands, when the vaccine is administered, it is possible that few of the mRNA strands will not reach the cell, right? So if they are outside cell, they will not cause any issue, because the mRNA is very fragile, right? They are very fragile, they won't last for long, they will destroy itself in some time. So if mRNA is not reaching the cell, it is not a bigger threat, I would say. And again, risk of unknown is already there. Risk of unknown. These are the few risks what we talked about, what we have seen in recent past when the mRNA vaccine has been administered to different people, right? But we do not know these. This is the first time we are using this technology, so the risk of unknown which will always be there. So these are the risks. What are the advantages? Advantages of using mRNA technology. Number one, they are not infectious, right? As clearly we saw that it is using a strand of mRNA, not the entire virus or bacteria for administering in the body of the patient, right? So it will not cause by itself any infection. So they are non-infectious. And the most important thing, as we earlier also talked about, that they are created in laboratory using readily available materials, right? And it can be scaled up quickly. In traditional vaccine, what is the issue? If we are using the actual virus or bacteria, we have to somewhere produce it, right? So to culture bacteria or virus, it is a time taking process and it cannot be easily scaled up. So you will see that in whichever vaccine they are using actual virus or bacteria, it takes time to develop, because the culturation process takes a long time and it is difficult to scale up. But in case of mRNA vaccine, it is very easy to scale this production. And the COVID pandemic has taught us that scaling up vaccine is very much important, because in a pandemic of this magnitude we need vaccines very quickly. So if we spend time on culturation of virus and bacteria for creation of vaccine, the important time will be lost. So this is again an advantage of mRNA vaccine, where we can scale the production quickly and utilize or administer vaccine to all of the humanity as early as possible. So what is the way ahead? See, clearly mRNA is very promising technology in producing vaccine. That is very clear. The results has been showing it in the past 1 or 2 years. So in similar line, different companies are started working to create vaccine for other diseases like HIV and malaria. For example, Moderna is on the clinical trial phase of HIV vaccine using mRNA technology. Even BioNTech is creating malaria vaccine for using mRNA technology. So the application of mRNA technology in vaccine production is very huge, and it is possible that we will slowly move towards a regime or and time where a single vaccine using mRNA technology can be created for multiple disease. Because here what we are not using a particular virus or bacteria, we are targeting proteins. So it is possible, though not been tested yet, but it is possible to create a particular vaccine which will cater to different diseases. So if this is possible, it will again cut short the spending of a lot of public spending as well on vaccination. So these are the advantages of using this technology. So with this we will complete today's session. Thank you.